All right. So, yeah, let me just jump straight in. So I'm grateful to God once again for the opportunity to be here, to be able to share what I have to share with you. And this digital ministry boot camp is an initiative that I started a couple of, I think probably like 2 years ago. And the idea is to empower ministers with skills, with strategy and information that will help them fulfill the Great Commission. The idea is to help believers be more effective with the Great Commission, to be able to do it more intentionally. And of course, we are familiar with the Great Commission, which is essentially focused on how we can make disciples of all nations. The digital field or the digital space is an area where many more disciples can be made if only we know exactly what we need to do. And so that's the reason for this events that's happening today and subsequent ones that will be coming. The idea is to help empower believers, begin to help them see how they can use digital tools to be able to make more disciples and advance the kingdom of God. So today's session is going to be focused on live streams and how you can turn your live stream viewers into committed church members, how you can begin to reach out to people that don't know Jesus yet through your live streams, and how you can actually begin to convert them into people that know Jesus, and then become committed members that also engage in digital mission. We'll probably do a second edition where I'll focus primarily on how to, do this more intentionally with as a mission kind of thing. But in this edition, I'll just share a couple of things that are related to how you can effectively use your live stream to be able to reach more people. Now, live streams have become something that have come into the limelight since COVID happened. All of a sudden, because of COVID, all of us now have begun to see live streams as an important part of our ministries, whether we are churches, whether we are independent ministries. Everybody has suddenly seen live streams as something that is not just an add-on, is something that is important. Almost everybody expects that your church or your ministry will have a live stream. As long as you are meeting regularly, there's the expectation that you guys will have a live stream. So let me just quickly go through some of the advantages of having a live stream, because I've met with a couple of people that probably don't see it as something very relevant, something very important to have. Why should you have a live stream? Welcome. Thank you for joining me this evening. And like I said, I kicked off into the session already. So why should you have a live stream? Why should you consider a live stream? Whether you're an independent minister, whether you're an established church, whether you're small or you're big, why should you start thinking of having a live stream? One of the reasons is that it gives you global reach. It gives you extended reach. You're able to reach people that you probably not be able to reach on a regular, on a normal basis, because of the limitations of geography, because of the limitations of financial resources. There are some people that you may not be able to reach, but because of this live stream platforms that are available, there's a chance for you to be able to reach much more people. There's a chance for you to be able to extend your ministry's frontiers to be able to reach more people. So that's number one. The second thing is an accessibility in spite of limitations. So there are some people that may not be able to come to your services. They may not be able to come to your meetings because of many things. It could be anything ranging from disability to geography limitations to many things, financial issues. It could be many things that they're not able to get to you. Some, it may even be language barrier that is not allowing them to come. But with live streams, you have the opportunity to be able to reach these people in a different time space, in a different environment, in a different time zone entirely, and still be able to reach them with the ministry that God has given to you. The third thing I have here is real-time connection with your audience. Because of participation, you have the opportunity to be able to connect with your audience in real time. People that are not there physically, you can still connect with them in real time because they're joining your live stream. One of the other reasons is that you also have a video on demand. You have content on demand. People can watch. Those that were not able to attend physically in real time at that time can watch it later. This is something that we didn't have before. Yes, we had it in a measure in terms of creating tapes and all that. But the beauty of the live stream is that at no cost, really no cost to you, depending on what platform you're using actually, but at a low cost to you, you can actually have people can watch content on demand. Somebody that missed last week's service, somebody that missed service from several weeks ago can go through the archives and go and pull out that content and be able to still interact with that content even though they were not there. So they'll still be able to be blessed because, of course, the anointing and the grace of God is on that piece, that particular piece of content. I think this is the fourth or fifth now, is cost effectiveness. One of the things that your live stream gives, the opportunity that it gives to you is that you are able to spend less money. If you have, just by even simply having a phone and natural light, you can actually begin to stream your services or stream, your services to people, stream prayers to people, be able to reach people. And so it's cheaper to you to be able to run almost for free. All you're spending is just your data and the time that you have invested in, and of course, the prayers and all that you have invested in getting done. So it's a lot cheaper than before. Now, if you wanted to be on television, you needed to buy a slot on, the TV station. You need to invest in equipment if you are having your own. There are so many costs that are connected to it, but all those costs have been stripped down now. All you need to do is just have a good phone that has a very good camera and you have good lighting. It could be your natural light or even just some regular light, and you're able to share with other people. One that really excites me is the outreach opportunities that are available to you. As somebody that is invested in a live stream, as a church, a ministry that is invested in live stream, you can actually begin to reach more people with the good news. You are able to reach more people with the word of God. You're able to reach more people with ministry, than you would normally. You're able to particularly reach people that don't know Jesus yet. Because there are many of them on these digital platforms, and by having this live stream, you have an opportunity to be able to reach them. Of course, the way you are going to present is going to be different than when you are reaching out to Christians, but the outreach opportunities are boundless when it comes to being able to reach people. The last one is that you have opportunities for new creative expressions. They are not limited to specific things that you are going to be able to do. For example, if you have a physical meeting or you're having a physical meeting in a church, there are certain things that you can't do. But on digital platforms, there's room for creativity. There's room for you to do all kinds of different things with your live stream to be able to reach your audience. Now, I'm not talking about content creation in terms of social media content and all that. I'm just talking about your live stream right now. I hope I did not slip into those areas. So how do you convert viewers into committed people? How do you do that? Now, to be able to turn your audience from mere viewers, you need to make certain adjustments. If you are going to make them go beyond just viewers of your content to people that are committed to the cause of Christ that you are pursuing, to people that are committed to becoming followers of Jesus, who disciples are, you need to make some adjustments. Let me say this: every pastor, every person that is in ministry, every church leader is desirous of impacting people that have a sense of commitment, not just to them, but a sense of commitment to Jesus, because you want to present them before Jesus blameless. So there's that desire in every ministry leader to be able to bring people that are sound, people that have been mature, people that are growing in Christ, people that are committed to Jesus. And so that's the pursuit of many people that are, at least majority of the people that are doing ministry from a very clear heart. And so if you're going to be able to do that when it comes to digital, then there are a few adjustments that you're going to have to make. Sorry, let me wear my glasses. The first one of those adjustments that you need to make is you need to shift from a broadcast mentality to connecting with people. Social media and digital platforms are not supposed to be billboards where people just look at the content and don't have the opportunity to be able to interact. You need to find a way to be able to interact with people. Instead of just focusing on broadcasting your content to your audience, think of how you can connect with them. Now, many of the times when people join a live stream, what just happens is that it's just a live broadcast. People are there to watch the content and to just walk away. You know, in many churches, I mean, at some point in the church that I was coordinating the online church ministry, I had to tell them that when you are talking, you need to first of all recognize the online audience, and then don't call them the online audience. Call them the people that are, you can call them the online church. You can call them the people that are joining our service online, because they matter as much. COVID showed us that digital presence is almost as valid as physical presence. I'm saying that with caution. Let me even rephrase that. Digital presence is as valid as physical presence, you know, because COVID showed us that we can actually interact with people even when they're not physically in the room. So start thinking of how to connect with people. Stop thinking of just broadcasting content to them alone. They are human beings that also need to get involved in your content. All right. Sorry. This is, oh goodness. Okay, so think window, don't think wall, you know, and this is what I mean. Don't let your, like, I apologize for the way the mix up with the content here. You know, start thinking in terms of your content or your live stream being an opportunity for people to be able to peer into your church, to be able to see into your church. Don't look at it as the end of a journey. Look at your live stream as the beginning of a journey with you. Look at your live stream as the beginning of interactions with you. So think window, don't think a wall. Don't think of it as a place where, oh, now they've joined the live stream, they are going away. No, think of it as an opportunity, like a door that can lead them into more about your ministry. You know, think about the first a person that's coming for the very first time, that is joining your ministry, is watching the live stream. You know, look at it like you have somebody that is visiting your church for the very first time, or is coming to your services for the very first time. The person is checking you out, is looking at, okay, what does this look like? How does this look like? You know, and it's going through all that. And eventually they will probably make a decision whether this is a place where they want to stay, you know, and to receive more from this ministry or participate more in this ministry and get more. So look at it as let your live stream be the beginning of a journey. Don't look at it as the end of anything. Look at it as the beginning of a journey with you. Don't think of it as a wall. Think of it as a window, you know. All right. I don't want to overflog that. Okay. So connect, engage, interact. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. I think I had some issues when I was creating this. Let me see if it's something I can quickly fix so that we can have a better experience. But I will share the slides when I'm done today. I will correct these slides and then get back to us. Let me not keep us waiting. So when you are talking about your audience, the people that are online, the people that are joining your live stream, stop looking at them as, like I said, don't just look at them as spectators that are just come to watch the live stream. Look at them as active participators. You know, and you need to begin to do things that will actually make them active participators in your session. Don't look at them as just people that are just watching the content and are just passive. There's a tendency when it comes to digital content to see things only from one perspective. Let me see if I can. Okay. Sorry, I want to correct this. Apologies. I'm sorry. I want you to see the right thing. So yeah, I was saying that you need to find ways to engage your audience. Let me stop sharing for a bit so that you can see my face. Okay, yeah. Let me pin this. So you need to start thinking of how to get your audience more invested in what you are doing with them. Stop looking at them as just people that are there to watch the live stream and go back home. You know, instead of looking at them as a fly on the wall, why don't you start thinking of ways to engage them? Why don't you start thinking of ways to get them invested, make them participators in the entire process, not just people that are watching the content that you are sharing, but people that are actively participating in what you're doing. Instead of, this happens in many churches, and it's simply because we do not factor the fact that there's a live stream audience, or we look at them as, in quote, second class church members. If you're not attending the physical meeting, then you are wrong, and stuff like that. But things like when you talk about them, when you have a sense that these people are also watching, have a sense of interacting with them. So don't just look at them as people that are just spectators that are watching what you're doing, without any sense of participation. Start thinking of how you can get them physically or get them digitally involved in the experience. Once you can do this for them, sorry, let me share my screen again. Okay. Apologies, I'm coming. Let me see how this works. Sorry, I'm having a few issues here. Share screen. Okay, good. Found it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I hope you can see my screen now. All right. So
much better now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, like I said, think window, not wall. See your live stream as a window into a relationship with people. So don't let the experience end with just watching the live stream. Let that live stream be the beginning of the journey. For many churches, once people watch the live stream and they are dispersed, that's the end. Don't let it be like that. Identify people that are attending for the very first time. Find a way of connecting with people. Take people away from the live stream to something else, to a community. It could be a WhatsApp community, it could be a Facebook group. It could be in the church that I worked with before I planted the church camps, I started in January. What we did was that we had a link that sent people, identified people as first timers, got their details, and then found a way to communicate or contact them after that session so that there will be some kind of interaction with them. People are really looking for community. They're not just looking for content. And what your live stream does is that it gives an opportunity to be able to share content and an experience with people, but you need to go beyond that to create community for them so that they have a sense of belonging to whatever it is that you are doing. All right. So I said connect, engage, interact. You need to find ways to engage with your audience when they join your live stream. Don't just let them be passive viewers, but active participators. Interact with them. One of the ways you can do this is you can go into the chat section and begin to interact, ask questions, communicate with people, interact with people, give them activities that they can do so that these people don't see that. There's a tendency when it comes to digital stuff to just be involved half-heartedly, right now everybody's listening to me, except I ask questions and I create some back and forth. You probably just be listening, and you can be involved in other things. You can be lying down your bed, you can be cooking in the kitchen, and this happens. People, there's a tendency to do that. You're watching a live stream service, and they're not participating. You're just playing the content, So find ways to get people to be not just passive viewers, but active participators in what you are doing. Let me share a live stream pathway that I have used for the church that churches I've worked with, and that has been very helpful. So it usually starts with us sharing our live stream link on our social media pages. The social media forms like the major bulk of the traffic that we get. So you're talking about WhatsApp status, you're talking about Facebook page, Facebook posts, and all those kind of posts. You're just sharing content, Instagram, all these platforms where you can share content, inviting people, promoting the service, and inviting them in. And then they join that live stream. It could be the midweek service, it could be the Sunday service. They join the live stream, and then I'm using this as a first timer. If it's the first time the person is joining, if you do not intentionally mention or reach out to those kind of people, you're going to lose those people. So what we did was that we had a weekly, after the live stream, sometime during it, either at the beginning of the live stream or towards the end of the live stream, we will ask people if it was their first time, and then we'll share a link with them. Some of them will send them once they identify as first timers, we'll send them a Facebook Messenger message, because we use Facebook as our primary live stream. We interact with them. We'll drop that link where they can click on the link and then join our online Facebook community. Some other churches, what they do is that you drop the links for prayers, you drop the links for testimonies, you drop all kinds of links there where people can interact. But I usually prefer that you limit it to just one single link. The reason is simple. You don't want to ask for too much of a commitment from somebody that is coming for the very first time. So drop a link that can take them to maybe a form that they can fill, and make the form a very simple form that they can fill. Another thing you can do that I've seen that is even more effective is send them to a WhatsApp account. Have a dedicated WhatsApp number that once they click on the link, it can just take them straight to that WhatsApp, and somebody is chatting with them immediately. It's a good way to be able to form a good bond. It's like somebody attending your church physically for the very first time, and then you now identify them as first timers. You give them some kind of reception where you interact with them. The chances that they will come back later are actually higher than if they just came in and you just identified them, you just greeted them there from the pastor or whoever it is that is welcoming them, greet them from the pulpit, and just lets it go. So what we did was that after we watch the live stream, we get the first timers to interact, and then you click a link. There's a Facebook group where you are asked a couple of questions, simple questions. What did you enjoy the most? What are you looking forward to in an online church community? And then, is this your first time or second time? People respond to that. And then we can push, and we've done this very well. We've been able to push people to come physically in church when they are in Ibadan to attend our services. In the online church Facebook, and I'll probably share that in other episodes, we'll be able to focus on building community, help people to grow spiritually, encourage them to grow, encourage them to also get involved in their own personal ministry. But I'm going to close because, like I said, I do not want to take time, and I want to take questions. I just want to share a few helpful and useful tips. When it comes to creating a live stream experience, if you can, strive towards creating a different experience for your online audience. And this is why it's important. When it comes to digital interactions, there is a particular way that people respond or interact with digital content. There's a particular way. Usually, there's a sense that they are in control of what they want to watch. So you need to put that in mind, that they can decide that they do not want to watch your live stream anymore. And when you have that in mind, then that means you need to find a way to engage them. I have been opportune to, like I said, relating with one of the accounts I was managing was for a group of a bigger church that has a group of a network of churches. And anytime we had a major program, I noticed from the back end, when I go into the Facebook insights, I noticed that people usually, the first few minutes of the live stream, people don't join, and eventually by the time they join the live stream, the participation is very low. Eventually they drop off. And one of the things I noticed is this. Most times we have this countdown to the live stream. So people come online and they join the live stream, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes ahead. And because they see that nothing is happening, they decide that it's better that they should walk away, and they'll come back later to come and join. Usually what happens with that is that most people end up forgetting that they were supposed to be part of something in the first place. So it's good that you have a countdown, but instead of just having numbers displaying on the screen, find a way to create some kind of engagement with people. Engage with people before the live stream starts. Let somebody be live on ground, that is interacting with people, that is welcoming people, that is having people, that are joining. Then you can also have a welcome video. Record a video. It could be the pastor, it could be some of the associate pastors or some leaders that can record a welcome video, welcoming people that are joining the live stream. Also talking about what they should expect as they've come to join the live stream. Welcome them. Tell them, oh, it's good to have you here this morning, this evening. This is what to expect. There's going to be worship music. There's going to be a message, and all that, and make yourself comfortable, do this and do that. It's a good way to prep people for that session. Is a very good way. One other thing I've also seen that will work is that you should share resources with the people that are joining you. When people join and you share things like sermon notes, you share things like questions and answers with people as content is going on. The easiest level is that as the pastor is preaching or teaching, or somebody is worshiping, you are sharing, reaffirming thoughts, things that the pastor has shared. You are sharing the quotes. Somebody made an announcement. You are sharing it again on those platforms. What that does is that it helps people to get engaged, because basically, like I said earlier, there's a sense that you have video or you have content on demand, and so if there's no sense that I'm actively engaged in what is going on, there's a tendency for me to walk away. And that's how your live stream audience thinks. So start thinking of how you can record a welcome video for them. Prep them ahead of time. Let them know what to expect. Interact with them in the live stream. Let them have question and answer. I mean, you could use AI tools to be able to transcribe the message and quickly convert it into questions and answers that you can put on the screen. One of the ideas that I sold to our church, the church I was working, my church I was working with at that time as the online pastor or online ministry or minister in charge of the online church, that's how we put it, was that once pastor finishes his messages, if it's possible for me to get the notes of the pastor's messages ahead of time, I will get them and then convert them into questions and answers that we can display on the screen. So people don't just listen to the message, but they are able to also interact it. We discovered, for example, that once people listen to the teaching by the pastor, the attendance or the people start dropping off. People just leave the live stream, so, and we said, okay, how can we resolve that? Okay, let's start getting people engaged. Once people interact with the content, they've listened to the message from the pastor, we can ask 3 or 4 questions. What struck you the most? Or just bring out content from inside that live stream and use it to interact with people and get them to ask questions or to interact. All right. So, sorry, I'm trying to get my screen back. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Ifeadi, thank you for the comment. So if you have questions, please start prepping your questions. I'll begin to take questions very soon. I want to make sure that I'm sharing my screen properly. All right. Oh, God. Okay. Sorry, Zoom is still a bit new to me, so I use some other platforms for my streaming. Oh boy, yeah, where's my screen? Okay, yeah, so I got my screen. Okay, yes. So let me move to the next thing. Okay. Somebody's asking, how do you move? Okay, just hold on. I will answer that question. Another thing you need to start thinking of is you need to start thinking of being creative. For us now, COVID has helped us to see digital as a lifestyle. There's hardly anybody that doesn't have some kind of physical and digital interactions. I'll give an example. There's a friend of mine that the last time I saw him was probably 1991. We were in secondary school together. He left while I was in GS1 or GS2. I can't remember now. But he left school early. We didn't graduate from the same school together. And a couple of years ago, we reconnected via social media and we started talking. And we discovered, this is probably like 7 or 8 years now where we've been constantly talking. We discovered that we've not seen ourselves physically in spite of these connections. But it felt so much as if we were in community together, as if we were together, simply because, WhatsApp is available. We're doing video calls, we're doing audio calls together. Those things have helped us to see that we are actually still connected in spite of the distance that we have. So digital is not a lifestyle. People expect it. People expect it to be part of our life. So one of the things you start thinking of is how can you leverage this, for the advantage of your live stream, of reaching people, So don't limit your live streams to Sunday or meeting days alone. If you're a pastor here, one of the things you can do is you discover that many times when you preach on Sundays, You don't actually have the time to cover all the material that you've prepared. Why don't you take some of that material on a Monday evening or on a Tuesday evening, maybe another day that is not the day of the service, and just go into ask people to ask you questions around what you taught. It's a good way to get feedback from them. Have a Facebook group or a WhatsApp group, get feedback from people, whether they are actually internalizing what you've taught them. Let them ask you questions, go ahead and explain areas where you could not cover, instead of just putting that aside and going to another thing when it comes to the next service, just because you don't have time. Take advantage of the fact that people are online 24/7 to be able to share the other parts of your content. I also said something here. People are not just looking for content, they are looking for community. So start thinking, how can we make our live stream an opportunity that we can convert into community? How can we connect with people on a regular, consistent basis? The last thing I want to share about is that you need to start thinking missional. You need to start thinking looking at your live stream as a missional tool. Ask this question: how can your live stream reach people who aren't saved yet by addressing their felt needs? I've seen a couple of these online. People are struggling with issues with identity, with purpose, with finances, with addiction, with relationship. Can you position your live stream as a way to connect with them on that level, so that you can now bring them into deeper community with you? You can start using your live stream as an opportunity to do this. During COVID, I saw a couple of churches that, mental health was a thing that became very rife during COVID, because of course we were staying at home, human interaction has been reduced to a great minimum, and so it was beginning to affect people. And I saw this church based in the UK who did a seminar on mental health. They did a webinar on mental health. You can invite somebody that is of another religion into that kind of service, into that kind of meeting, without feeling any sense of without being challenged. You can invite somebody to a budgeting seminar. You can invite somebody into financial opportunities, new streams of income in a place like Nigeria where things are a bit rough. And you can use that as an opportunity to be able to connect with them. So your live stream shouldn't just be limited to, reaching and feeding your congregation, which is a good thing, but it can actually be an outreach tool to be able to reach people. I will share something. I heard there was a statistics I saw earlier in the year, and somebody shared it again recently. The top 10 websites that are viewed by Nigerian has at least 6 sports betting related sites. Okay, actually 2 betting related sites, about 3 football sites, 2 porn sites. In fact, the top most viewed content by Nigerians is a porn site. The third one is a porn site. So we have 1 and 3 as a porn site. And I discovered also that the majority of the population of people that are on digital platforms in Nigeria are young people between 18 and 35. So that speaks volumes. It shows that people are going on digital platforms. Primarily, they are going online to be able to just consume rubbish. Okay. Oh yes, thank you, Dami, for sharing this. Okay, let me see if I can just share this my live on my screen. Yeah, I was going to. Okay, beautiful. I found it. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah, most visited websites on mobile by Nigerians. This is even more recent. This is June 2024. What I had was last year. So we have number 1 is Google. Number 2 is this website. I don't want to mention it here. There's SportyBet, there's Bet Niger, there's Facebook. There's the 6th one is another porn website. Then there's YouTube, there's Goal. Goal is a football website. FlashScore is a football website. LiveScore is a football website. Can we begin to think of creating content around this interest, around these issues that people have? So obviously people are struggling with addictions to sexuality, to sexual stuff. People are struggling with relational or relationship issues. SportyBet, Bet Niger are evidences that people want to make more money. Can we begin to think of creating content around this and use that as a way to begin to draw people that are not saved into relationships with Jesus through us? As we do this, begins to become more evident that we can actually use it's an opportunity for us to be able to reach more people. I don't know how else to say that, but it's important that we begin to start thinking along those lines and not just look at our live stream as something that is just a broadcast platform that we're using to push out our content, but also an opportunity to be able to reach more people for the sake of the kingdom of God. All right, so that is my that's my charge to us this evening. I'll put it that way. Yeah. So I have my details on the screen if you want to reach out to me, but let me just go ahead and take the questions that I have. So thank you, Dami, for the question that you asked. How do you interact? If you also have a question that you want to ask, I can unmute you so that you can just ask the question. And then I can also take feedback from you if you have a comment to be able to share or something. So the question is, how do we interact with the live stream audience without distracting them? One of the things you need to understand is that your live stream audience is actually distracted. Now, and this is what I mean. There's a sense that when you have a mobile phone, except you put it on Do Not Disturb, information is constantly, notifications are constantly dropping. In fact, we are so used to that every moment we are checking our phones to see what's the latest message, what's the latest this, what's the latest that. So already they are distracted. What you want to do is be able to engage them in such a way that they are not you are the center of the attraction. So like I said earlier, we're on this live stream. If you are doing something else and I mentioned your name, one of the things that happens to you is that you drop whatever it is that you're doing and you pay attention to me. Yoruba people have a proverb that, Ojulo Rowa. In this case, what that means is simply that when you're speaking to somebody, you need the person's attention for you to be able to carry the conversation. So you need to find ways that you can carry the conversation with people. One of the things you can do is in the chat. If you mention people and you say, oh, Dami Olaitan, I can see you on this chat. Ade Peju Disu, oh, you're welcome. Good to see you here. Samuel Nwosu, thank you for joining. Ife Ade, thank you for joining. Oyeni Oyeleye, it's good to have you here. What that does is that personalization makes people feel a sense that they are part of this thing, as against they're just looking at you. There was a church I heard that what they did was that they had a particular camera that was stationed for the online audience. So the pastor will, when he's teaching, he will go to that camera and talk to the people in that camera. And just face that camera and talk to them. Not just face the congregation and have the camera, but he will go and say, okay, my online people, guys online, this is me talking to you. This is me saying, it makes people feel that, oh, we are part of this thing. So that's one of the things that you need to do. Already realize that people are already distracted, whether you like it or not. They're already distracted. What you want to do is make them engage with you, catch their attention so that you are the one that they are constantly interacting with. All right. I hope that kind of answers your question as much as I can. Does anybody have any other questions? Any other thing that you would like to know? Okay. Please let me know. Just ask your question away. Feel free. I can unmute you. Just let me know. Just raise your hand. I will unmute you and then you can ask your question. Okay. Are we all here? I want to be sure. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, yeah. Please ask your questions. Like I said, if you have a question to ask, so let me know. You're thinking. Okay, thank you, Fayade. Thank you. You're thinking about the question. Okay. Okay. While we're waiting for the questions to come, there's a group, there's a community that I started on Telegram where I share ideas and tips and content and stuff that is very relevant for people. I'm trying to get the link of that group. Jesus is Lord. So that I can share with you, and then you can also become a member of that group where I share content. All right. Okay, so all right, yeah, still ruminating. Okay, yeah. Let me unmute Dami. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah,
Dami,
good evening,
good to have you.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Well, I really appreciate you having this session with us. My other question is around it's still around this distracting people, because one of the things one also has to be mindful of is the fact that you have a mixed audience. Some people can't multitask, some others can, right? And so when you're kind of like information overload on them, uh, how do you process that information overload for them? Two is also that I want to believe that the new generation church, um, usually services are not more than 2 hours thereabout. So if we want to have a case study for the more orthodox settings, how is that possible? Where some of their services are probably 3-4 hours, some even longer than that. How do you help with some of these things that you've reeled out
All right.
for us?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for that question. One of the things that I've discovered is that live streaming for many, once you are not, okay, so first of all, the attention span of people on digital platforms with regards to long form video is not what we think it is. There's a tendency. So, for example, if you attend a physical meeting, you can be there for 3 hours. You can get up for bathroom breaks and stuff, but essentially you're there. If they lock the doors and say you're not going out, you're not going out. But with a digital platform, it is you have options, so you can decide after 10 minutes. If you feel that you're not enjoying it, you can just get out of the place, because you are like, I'm not really feeling this thing. So when it comes to Orthodox churches, and in my experience, what I've seen is that when you put out long form content, after people join the live stream, most people do not go back to go and watch the entire 2-hour service online that has a praise and worship, that has everything. And I mean, Dami, you will agree with me, because we've had conversations around this, that it is a lot easier to take the content that really matters, or the content that you feel that connects with people the most, which is the message and maybe some other parts, and cut them into different pieces where people can interact with them differently. So what I mean is that the praise and worship, you can separate the praise and worship from your message, and that will mean that your live stream is now not something that is available on demand, in terms of people being able to, no, that's not what I mean. What I'm saying is that your live stream is now not something that once people join and they've left that space, they can have access to it again in shorter, easier to handle doses. If you're having a 3-hour service, it's not very likely that people online are going to stay for that entire 3 hours, except you really have a very amazing lineup of speakers or events that people are engaged in. Physical is different from digital in terms of people's responses and their interactions with stuff. So we need to keep that in mind. In Nigeria, for example, the average person thinks that the longer time you spend on video, on something like that, the more their data is going. So even if that's not totally true, there's a sense that, don't let my data waste. Why am I online? So you see people log out and log in. So what you want to do, what you want to do in that kind of case is evaluate the people that are watching online. What really do they, you need to find their behaviors. What exactly it is it that they are actually interacting with? If it is like I discovered in our church, for example, after the message, we just had a huge drop. And usually after the message, there was the announcement, there were other things. People never really participated that much. So what we started doing was that, and Dami can attest to it because we worked together. What we started doing was that we now had, we started breaking the content we'll take to YouTube and even on Facebook. After the live stream, we'll cut it. We'll cut the choir section out. We'll cut the special number out. We'll cut the message, the sermon out. We'll cut the announcement out, and then put all those. So if you get online, you can look at it and decide that, okay, it's a message I want to listen to. Oh, the worship, I joined, but I didn't really participate very well. Let me listen to the worship and participate in the worship. So that's what I will advise. Of course, everybody, depending on their use case scenario, but with long sessions, it's advisable not to keep people up, because what will happen is that people will drop off. You need to find the way their engagement as on the virtual platform or digital platform is not like the way that they are on physical platforms. So I hope that has helped. I hope I've not rambled. I hope that has helped. Okay.
Yes, it did help. It did
Okay.
help. You touched on some of this, because the truth is also that use cases would differ, and we're just looking at middle grounds that can help us solve some of these things. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Any other questions? I don't know if I should say Pastor Olumide Oduneye or brother, so that I do not offend you, sir. I see that you are unmuted. Do you have a question you want to ask?
Not really, sir. Not really.
Okay, let's hear it. That not really. There's something inside it.
Actually, my question centers on how best can we keep our online viewers. I discover you, although I was driving while I was listening to you, but there is a part I had where you said we should try as much as possible to move people away from connecting to building a community.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask, how can we really do that? How do we sustain them from taking them from connecting to building a community?
Okay. All right. So I just thank you for asking that question. I'll just go over this very quickly again. I scroll back to the session where I mentioned the live stream pathway. It's a digital ministry pathway that we've implemented. So when people join your live stream, for many people, that's probably the end. They may be following you on social media, but you want to also keep some kind of close contact with them. So when they join the live stream, it's a first timer, like I put in this pathway, this funnel. They join, they hear from social media, they click on your live stream, they join the live stream, they identify as a first timer. You give them a link where they can connect with you. Like I said, it's better that you make it a WhatsApp link. So have a dedicated number that somebody is on a Sunday morning or midweek service. Somebody clicks on the link, they land into the WhatsApp, and somebody is there to quickly chat up with them. Oh, it's good to see you. My name is Femi, and I just like to welcome you to Rampage Outreach Center. We are a community of this. We see that it's your first time. What's your name? Just build some kind of rapport with the person, and then take that person, introduce your online Facebook group or your online, church group. It could be a WhatsApp group to them. The idea is that when you take them from that place of just viewing your live stream to putting them in a group, now you have direct contact with them. You can share more information. You can share more content with them. You can help them know where they are in their Christian journey, help them grow in their relationship with God by that interaction with them. If you leave them to the mercy of just the live stream, it's possible that next time they may not join, or they will join when they feel that they should join. But by taking them from just that live stream or from social media to a group where you have contact with them, it could be a group, it could be an email list, it could be a WhatsApp broadcast where you have that way you have constant interaction with them, you have direct contact with them, and then you can start thinking of building. I mean, that's a way of building the community I was talking about, and you can start thinking of linking them into deeper connections with that community of Christ that you are building. I hope that helps, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Did help. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So before we go, I want to share just one more thing. If you are a church, a small church, you're just starting out, or you are an independent minister that wants to, use digital live stream, one of the things you should do is don't compare yourself with the bigger churches that have the equipment and have all the lights and all the stuff. Make it a simple thing that you can do. People are more concerned about your authenticity than your visual outlook. If you can make it something, and this is what I mean, if you can make it something that is valuable, that can reach out to them, taking your phone alone and recording content that is helpful for people will connect with much more people than trying to have a massive setup. But of course, investing in a setup is good. Right now, for example, I'm using a green screen, and so my background, you can't see, it's glitching. That's why you're seeing my hand disappear and appear. But I've used a Zoom virtual background so that it can present a look of something. I have some lights that I've used here that I'm using to present. So don't wait until you are standing in front of a congregation to teach before you can share content with people. That's what I'm saying. If you're a small church, you can have you can record pastor teaching if that's possible. If you can't have that, you can go ahead and pastor can teach that same content in another time and space. So let me share one more thing and then we'll be out of here. Right now I'm beginning to think, if you go on YouTube, you'll see this. So you can actually create your own sets. You can get plywood and decorate it with wallpaper. You can get plywood, decorate it with wallpaper, and put it as your background, and just deliver the content that you have to. You already have amazing content. You have life-changing content. You have the word of God within your reach. So if you can do that, with the simple phone, and most phones that we have today have high quality video, even if your video is not very good yet. Your camera rather is not very good yet. Use natural light and start sharing content with people. You'll be shocked at how much, God will bless that faithfulness, that you are involved in, simply because you are reaching out to people. And then you start getting feedback. People start reaching out to you to begin to ask you that, oh, this really blessed me. This really was very touching to me. So because right now we live in an era where the internet is a video internet. Video is the most demanded content, whether short form, long form, mid form content. People are demanding video more than ever before. And if you are going to be able to be visible, and reach the people that God is sending you to, particularly in the digital space, you are going to have to be involved at that level. All right. So I do not want to take your time. I hope this has been very helpful for you. I would also like to, there's a link, if you'd like to connect with me directly, there's a link I have that I will share with you that links to my WhatsApp directly. Let me share it in my Zoom here, and I will pass. Okay. And you can have, oh, sorry. Okay. I'm not typing. All right. So that's the link. Let me reshare it properly so that it's clickable. HTTPS. Okay. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm not doing this right. Okay. I think, yeah. So now it should be clickable. If you click on this link, it will take you directly to my WhatsApp, and then you can, okay. All right. So yes, thank you, Pastor Oyeniyi too, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm hoping and trusting God that this will be more frequent. Every month, I will take a topic and I'll just try and delve into it to help equip the church, so pastors, individual ministers, people to be able to do more with our digital devices and expand the kingdom of God. Thank you, everybody, for joining in tonight. My name is Eyi Topelala, by the way. And I'm glad to, let me recognize again, Samson Owosu, thank you for joining. Oyeniyi Oyile, thank you, sir. Olumide Oduneye, thank you very much. Ifeade, I think I know who that person is, but I'm not sure. Damilola Olaito, thank you. Adepeju Disu, thank you for joining me. And I hope this has been a blessing to you. You can follow me on my social media handles. Facebook is Itopelala, and there's Rampage Outreach. And then Instagram is Rampage Outreach. I share a lot of content there. I share videos and stuff that are helpful. And then I also have a YouTube channel that has videos and stuff. If you connect with me on WhatsApp, I will share the link with you with my the YouTube channel with you, where you can actually gain a lot much more. So thank you for joining again this evening. This session is recorded. I'll probably post the recording on the Telegram group so that you can have access to it and watch later. I actually do not know how to end Zoom meetings, so I will say thank you once again for joining this evening, and God bless you.